Friday morning coming up here on GMA. We're live on both sides of the border with the fallout this morning as the pandemic-era Title 42 policy comes to an end. Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas joins us with the White House's response. And then all that severe weather from Oklahoma to Arkansas, flash flooding and more severe storms through the weekend. I'll have that forecast. And we're celebrating one of our favorite traditions, breakfast in bed, for a very deserving mom in America. So could we be in your town this morning? You'll find out right here on GMA.
And coming up in our next hour, Bexar County emergency responders have a warning for people who live in flood-prone neighborhoods ahead of tonight's rain. Our coverage continues on the end of Title 42. Alyssa Cole live at the southern border. We'll hear from her. And checking TransGuide right now, see how things are looking out there near the airport. 281 at 410. There's 37 at I-10.
Across the southwest border, Border Patrol agents are working tirelessly to process and turn away migrants seeking to cross the border illegally. Good morning. My name is Alyssa Cole, and coming up on GMSA, we'll show you how Border Patrol agents are working in Eagle Pass.
To process and swiftly remove people without a legal basis to remain in the U.S.
As you know, Title 42 came to an end overnight while most of us were sleeping. We're keeping a close eye on the border with team coverage from Eagle Pass to Del Rio to McAllen. We're watching it all.
And let's look out there with live cam right now. Just the humidity we're worried about, and also some patchy fog here and there. But starting this evening, it's the rain that has a lot of people talking, and we're going to check in with Mike in just a minute for all those details.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning to you at 6 a.m. on your Friday, May 12th.
Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good weekend. Now we're hoping that you're going to get prepared for all the rain we're expecting.
Mike Osterhage joins us now, and the National Weather Service already has put a flash flood watch on the radar for later.
Yeah, that goes into effect. We'll show you the outline for that. It's the whole area, as a matter of fact, 7 o'clock tonight till 7 tomorrow. May get extended as well. Most all of today, though, is going to be like the past few days. We've got mist drizzle this morning, a patch of fog, and a stray shower thunderstorm. Slightly better chance later on this afternoon. This picture, and still trying to figure out if that is kind of a damp road out there. It looks like there's a reflection on 410. RJ said he ran into a little bit of mist this morning. We do have hints of fog here and there all around the area. Not anything too thick, but of course, as the morning progressed yesterday, it got a lot thicker after sunrise, and that's going to be the situation again this morning, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Mid-70s all around the area. I mean, it is just a steam bath when you walk outside, especially when you get these numbers, dew points, 73s, 74, 75. Yeah, that's a wet towel that's going to greet you when you walk out the door this morning. Mold is on the high side, although it did come down quite a bit from the previous day's reading. Temperatures will stay in the mid-70s this morning. Again, a little bit of mist, a sprinkle drizzle here and there, some patchy fog. We'll be up to 81 at noon. Some sunshine today, although I think we keep more clouds around than what we had yesterday. And then that chance for a stray pop-up shower, thunderstorm here or there. Now, the really heavy stuff is going to start to develop then about dinner time or early evening out to the west and then work its way across the area. So here in San Antonio, we're not going to be seeing it till late tonight. However, at 7 o'clock is when the flash flood watch goes into effect, like I said, through tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then also, as these storms start to work their way across here tonight, there is the chance that some could be on the strong to potentially severe side. High winds, hail, isolated tornado is possible, not likely, and it's just because the atmosphere, not only with all this humidity getting squeezed out, and that's what's going to help with the heavy rain, but that makes it very, very volatile. Some of the numbers that kind of measure the volatility in the atmosphere are almost off the charts. We'll also have a small threat for severe weather tomorrow. Periods of heavy rain off and on. We'll take a look at who sees how much rain, when it actually comes, breaks here and there, and what's in store for Mother's Day as well. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, what's going on, sir?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Glad to be behind the wheel for you as we start our 6 o'clock hour here in Good Morning San Antonio. Taking you outside TransGuide traffic cameras, taking a look at 35, Loop 410, traffic moving pretty smooth there. 35, both the upper lower levels there in the downtown area at Main, traffic moving along pretty well in that area. Let's take a look outside, or let's take a look at our maps here. Excuse me, our citywide map, and we see a lot of green on the screen. That is good news. Seeing a few things that had popped up recently. Oh, let's kind of check what's going on here with this map there. So there was a stall. There we go. Caught up with you. So there's a stall that's now being reported on the 35 southbound lanes here at US 90. So this just popped up a little bit south of the downtown area. So again, southbound lanes of 35 at US 90, a stall that's just popped up on TxDOT's website. So I'll kind of look into some of the cameras and see if we can spot anything out there and see exactly what might be happening here a little bit south of downtown. So it just showed up on our maps. 90 at Couples, speaking of the west side, things looking okay there, and 281 Loop 410 traffic moving along pretty smooth as we look at our overpasses and ramps there. 1604 at FM 78 out there in the northeast side, traffic looking pretty good so far. In most of our area, we'll continue to follow the very latest updates. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
RJ, thank you. This morning, a landmark change to U.S. immigration policy as thousands of migrants flood the southern border. Title 42 has now officially ended.
That means people who cross the border will have to face stricter consequences if caught crossing illegally. We start this morning with how things are going over in Eagle Pass. Alyssa Cole is live there. And Alyssa, break down the new immigration rules that the Biden administration recently announced.
Good morning, Mark. Stephanie, planning to break down those rules, those pre-pandemic penalties, because people will definitely want to take a listen in on this. But before we get into those details, let me tell you why those rules were put in place. Those rules were put in place because the Biden administration explained just this week that they are pushing to create safer, more legal pathways for people to seek asylum in the United States, Spain, and Canada. Now, the part of the plan on how they're doing this, they're setting up migrant processing centers in the Western Hemisphere, and that includes in countries Guatemala and Colombia. Now, right now, the administration did not explain on when those migrant processing centers will be open, when they'll be set up, and exactly where in those countries they will be. We know that they are not set up yet, but we are waiting to get more details on that. Now, Stephanie, you're back to your question. You said, what about those penalties? What are those looking like? Yes, they are more strict this year. We did get a chance to hear from the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and he shares that anyone caught crossing the border illegally will face those very, very strict rules. Take a listen.
If anyone arrives at our southern border after midnight tonight, they will be presumed ineligible for asylum and subject to steeper consequences.
Ineligible for asylum is probably one of the worst things people want to hear on the other side of the border. Now, when it comes to specifically what those consequences will be, Alejandro Mayorkas did release this statement. Take a look at your screen right now. It reads, in quote, "Do not believe the lies of smugglers. The border is not open. People who do not use available lawful pathways to enter the United States now face tougher consequences, including a minimum 5-year ban on re-entry and potential criminal prosecution." And that criminal prosecution is essentially felony charges. There is more information on our website at ksat.com if you would like to learn more about Title 42. But for now, reporting in Eagle Pass, Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
About 55 miles to the north, it's a similar situation in Del Rio. As border communities anticipated large crowds, the Del Rio sector was calm into the night and this morning, but time will tell how things play out. Now, according to Del Rio police, U.S. Border Patrol has unconfirmed intel that 23,000 migrants are headed to the city, but all in smaller groups, a situation police called more manageable. The Del Rio sector has already seen a steady increase of apprehensions from Wednesday to Thursday, increasing from 800 to 1,400.
It's already too much. You know, I understand these people are trying to seek a better life for themselves, but, you know, when do you turn off the faucet?
Officials with the nonprofit Border Humanitarian Coalition in Del Rio say they can help up to 700 people per day. It's important to note that Del Rio and Valverde County do not have overnight shelters. City officials say they have buildings ready to be converted for use if needed.
And right now we have a complete coverage on ksat.com. You can see pictures from the border, images of families and others who have traveled from Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, and Central America. Look for these stories on our homepage.
Looking ahead, with the rain coming in later tonight, Bexar County emergency responders are warning those who live in flood-prone neighborhoods to take precautions now. They say the first thing to do is get an emergency kit ready with medication, extra keys, and your wallet. Since the storm is expected to hit overnight, crews are asking people to stay off the roads. Flooding can sometimes be difficult to see on roadways, so you could end up in high flood water and in need of rescuing.
If you're out on the road and you're driving, it's much harder to see a flooded roadway. So we want people to be aware, to drive careful, be cautious. Rescuers are tied up and in the end risk their own lives in getting these people out.
City of San Antonio has over 140 low water crossings areas, and more than 100 of them have flashing lights for flood situations. One way to stay alert is with the KSAT Weather Authority app. Download it now for free for important info, including live updates in case the power goes out.
A murder suspect is now in custody after police followed another suspect in another case. So this is Elijah Ramos, and he's behind bars, charged with capital murder, accused of shooting and killing a 14-year-old back in 2020. Detectives were following another suspect named Amanda Beltran. For days, she led them to an apartment complex on Loop 410 near Harry Wurzbach, and inside, detectives noticed 3 other suspects with felony warrants. A 7-hour police standoff followed. The suspects eventually surrendered after police fired chemical agents into that apartment.
Meanwhile, Judson ISD has a new superintendent. Trustees unanimously approved Dr. Milton R. Fields for the job at last night's board meeting. He was named lone finalist for the job last month. Now, Fields previously served as the district's interim super, along with several other roles within the Judson Independent School District. 6:10 on your Friday morning, 75 degrees.
And Mother's Day is almost here, and we want you to scan this QR code right now. It'll take you to where you can send us pictures of your mom. We may show some of your pictures in our newscast as we celebrate all the moms out there.
Speaking of Mother's Day, coming up on Good Morning America, one lucky mom with an inspiring story will get an epic surprise. It's happening live on GMA starting at 7.
And let's take a look out there with a live cam. Again, humid out there and kind of foggy in some areas, so be careful on the roadways, but especially this evening when all that rain is expected to come in. We'll check in with Mike again later on.
All right, welcome back. Let's take you outside the TransGuide traffic cameras, and things looking pretty good so far on your Friday morning commute. This would be a good time to head out if you need to head maybe to work a little bit early, maybe grab some breakfast or coffee on your Friday, because the commute looking pretty solid in this area. As our TransGuide traffic cameras looks like they're having a little bit of trouble there, but looking at 410 and Jackson Keller there on the near northwest side, things looking good. 281 at Hildebrand, where they've had a little bit of construction over the past couple of days, traffic moving along pretty good in that area. 90 at Couples on the west side, traffic moving smooth there as well. As we take a look at our citywide map, we had that stalled vehicle that was at 35 and 90, and that has been cleared out according to TxDOT's website, so that is good news there. But there is just something that just popped up a little while ago out in the far west side over there at 1604 and 90, so we'll check in on that in just a little bit, see exactly what's going on right there. It looks like it is a stalled vehicle out there on the far west side for people coming in and out of the Castroville area, so something to just kind of keep in mind as you make your way out on your Friday morning. One more look here at TransGuide traffic cameras. Look at both levels there of 35 at Main. You know, that's always an area that floods, guys, especially with when we're expected to get heavy rain here over the next couple of days, so something to definitely keep in mind if you are planning to head out anywhere throughout the rest of this week. And we know Mother's Day is coming up. A lot of people have some plans. Maybe some things might have to be reworked a little bit.
The irony of Mother Nature interrupting Mother's Day is interesting.
Well, it is going to be a wet Mother's Day.
Yeah.
We will have, scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms, even still a heavy downpour around here. The majority of the rain, though, is still looking like it is going to be tomorrow. Now, this morning, we're starting off like yesterday morning, day before that. It is, well, it's actually not quite like, because it's a lot more humid out there this morning. 74 degrees will stay pretty steady. A little bit of mist, fog. You saw some sprinkles?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of
Did you
drizzle.
guys see anything?
Not me.
No, but on TransGuide by the airport this morning, just about an hour ago, there were some showers.
So there have been a couple little sprinkles here and there, and then 87 high temperature today, a steamy 87 degrees, and a few more clouds than yesterday. Maybe a shower, a little storm popping up here and there. The really, really heavy stuff won't start to develop until around around dinner time out to the west and then work its way across the area as we go in through the evening. So here's a look outside right now with live cam, and we don't see anything on the camera lens as of right now. I want to jump ahead very quickly, though. The Climate Prediction Center has been keeping this trend going in through the latter portion of the month as far as the better odds than normal of having kind of a wetter period going in through the 18th through the 22nd. So that'd be next weekend and the start of the following week, with temperatures pretty good chance of being on the below normal side, and then even further in toward the end of May and heading in toward Memorial Day, which would be a slight chance of being better than normal odds of having precipitation around here, or wetter than normal situation, and temperatures still staying on the cooler side, or a decent chance of staying below normal as far as temperatures are concerned. Here's the computer model, and going in through later on this afternoon. And again, just a couple of those stray little showers popping up around the area, maybe a thunderstorm or two. And there's the heavier, more widespread rain developing, and this is by dinner time, and then that works its way across the area and moves in through the hill country, and this is going to be tonight. So here in town really won't be arriving until late tonight, and then working its way across the area in the overnight hours with some of those heavier downpours, and that will be the case through tomorrow morning. And notice how there's a big clump of this down there to the south. That's where a lot of the models are now leaning towards some of the heaviest rain being, say, from San Antonio down to the south, and that'll be the case throughout the day. And look at this. This is only 10 o'clock tomorrow, and it continues to rain. I mean, this is going to be a lot of the rain in the first portion of the day, and still some of those showers going in through the afternoon hours. Now, as far as rainfall potential, we're still looking at heavy downpours, 3-5 inches, kind of widespread, and then you'll have those local heavier amounts, those pockets where you're going to see even a lot more than that. And again, the trend being out to the west, to the south, and to the southwest, and this is going through the next few days, the total amount. And of course, flash flood watch goes into effect tonight at 7 through tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Weather Service has indicated it probably is going to extend that flash flood watch even in through the overnight hours into Sunday. Also, there is a severe threat later on this afternoon as those storms get going into tonight. High winds and hail being the biggest concern with that. And then that severe threat works its way down to the southeast tomorrow. Now, as far as further on into the future, one of the long-range computer models does have rain around here on Sunday. This tends to broad brush things, but we'll still have rain around, and this is going to be continuing into Monday, a decent rain chance, Tuesday as well, and still some rain going into next week. So that trend is going to continue, with temperatures staying slightly below normal readings going in through most of next week, and then also the rain chances. 81 at noon today, mostly cloudy skies. High temperature, it's going to make it up to 87. So normal high is 86, right in the ballpark, obviously, but very steamy later on today with a stray shower or thunderstorm, just, one or two of them here and there. And then it's tonight as the rain works its way across the hill country, arrives here in town late tonight. News time right after that, so approaching midnight, and then over the overnight hours tomorrow morning, and heavy pockets of rain through the day tomorrow. Sunday we'll have some showers and a couple of thunderstorms around here. Still a heavy downpour can't be ruled out. Rain chances Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday and Thursday. Again, the normal high temperature is 86. After today, those numbers stay on the cooler side of things. But yeah, again, just got to watch out. Not everybody's going to be seeing just the torrential, heavy rains, but sure, there's going to be the heavy downpours tomorrow. So if you can kind of hunker down inside and watch a movie, not a bad idea.
All right, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
621, 75 degrees.
And just ahead, country singer Jimmy Allen's being sued for assault and sexual abuse by his former manager. The details are next in today's GMA First Look.
RJ Marquez behind the wheel for all of us this morning, and our friends at TransGuide showing us heavier traffic at 410 and Babcock. We'll be back.
The ABCs of CKD. A is for awareness, because knowing that your chronic kidney disease and type 2 diabetes could progress to dialysis is important. B is for belief that there may be more you can do. Just remember that K is for kidneys and Kerendia. For adults living with CKD and type 2 diabetes, Kerendia is proven to reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis. Kerendia is a once-daily tablet that treats CKD differently than type 2 diabetes medications to help slow the progression of kidney damage and reduce the risk of cardiovascular events, such as heart attacks. Do not take Kerendia if you have problems with your adrenal glands or take certain medications called CYP3A4 inhibitors. Kerendia can cause hyperkalemia, which is high potassium levels in your blood. Ask your doctor before taking products containing potassium. Kerendia can also cause low blood pressure and low sodium levels. So now that you know your ABCs, remember K is for kidneys. And if you need help slowing kidney damage, ask your doctor about Kerendia.
In this morning's GMA First Look, country singer Jimmy Allen sued.
Soundtrack with a song in the dark. I miss those days when our dreams were there for chasing.
His day-to-day manager says she was subject to assault and threats to stay silent. Filing documents state Jane Doe began working for Wide Open Music in 2020, assigned to Allen, whom she says sexually abused her at red lights, in green rooms, on airplanes, and in other places she was required to be to support him at events. The singer-songwriter admits to the extramarital affair, but says during the nearly 2 years it went on, she never once accused me of any wrongdoing, and she spoke of our relationship and friendship as being something she wanted to continue indefinitely. So what happens next in this case? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Title 42 is officially over, and the Biden administration has rolled out new rules that were stricter than before. Good morning, I'm Melissa Cole, and coming up on GMSA, we'll break down what those consequences are if caught crossing the border illegally.
The other big news in South Texas this morning is the weather and your Friday forecast. Pretty calm right now, but a flash flood watch will be in effect later on.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. It's 6:30 and it is May 12th, and we hope you are preparing for all this rain.
We've been talking about it all week. Mike Osterhage joins us now for an update, and the window has become more clear.
Yeah, it's going to be later tonight when we start to see it here in town. Obviously, sooner in parts of the Hill Country and well over there in our western counties along the Rio Grande. First of all, it is a murky morning. This picture looks almost identical to yesterday, the day before that, although one big difference is the fact that temperatures are much, much warmer this morning. 76 degrees right now. We are about 10 above normal. Dew point stands at 73, which means it's like a wet towel when you walk outside in a lot of places. There are hints of fog around the area, nothing too thick as of right now, but think back to the past couple of days where right after sunrise, that's when the fog started to thicken up a little bit more. And we also have some mist out there, little specks of drizzle. Roads may be on the damp side, so watch out for that. Mid 70s all around the area. And again, these numbers, these are some of the highest dew point temperatures we usually see, even in some of the summertime months. So yeah, it's like a rainforest out there in parts of the area. And mold is on the high side. Updated count's going to come out in about an hour. So mostly cloudy skies today. Not as much sunshine. We'll still have enough sunshine to get us up into the upper 80s. Couple of showers, maybe even a thunderstorm, just kind of the scattered variety. Then we go into tonight. Now, the storms are going to be developing out to the west, working their way across. Like I said, they won't be getting here in town until late tonight, between 11, 12 o'clock, midnight. And some of those maybe actually be on the severe side as they work their way across the hill country because the atmosphere is so volatile. Then tomorrow, we are going to have periods of heavy rain. We'll have heavy rain overnight and here and there throughout the day tomorrow. And then going into Mother's Day, still we're going to have a few showers and a couple of storms around here. And with all the humidity around, still can see a heavy downpour. There's the flash flood watch, goes into effect tonight through 7 o'clock tomorrow. And there's the outlook for the severe 1 out of 5 chance, or on a scale of 1 to 5, that's the lighter shade of pink, and this would be a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. So high winds and hail are going to be the biggest threats. An isolated tornado can't be ruled out, not very likely though, and this will be then tonight, and then also a severe threat does exist tomorrow as well. When's the rain going to end? Who would have thought we'd be asking that question? But details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ Marquez. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, Mike, actually just had our first crash of the morning pop up here on TransGuide traffic cameras. Literally just showed up on TxDOT's website, and I was like, well, I hope TransGuide can get us a shot here, and it looks like we have something here. The southbound lanes of Loop 410 at Old Pearsall Road. I'll try and get a little bit more information here from TransGuide in just a little bit exactly what happened, but you can see traffic is moving along in the area, but very slow right now, and looks a little bit kind of sort of misty and muggy out there with this camera. So we'll try and get a little bit more information here in just a little bit from TransGuide as we take a look at our citywide map. And this accident right there at 410 and 90 doesn't appear to be causing any major traffic delays. We just saw that camera there showing traffic is moving through the area, but something to keep in mind. We do have a stall being reported here on the northeast side, and this is out in the westbound lanes of Loop 1604 at O'Connor Road. This was reported about 15 minutes ago, but as you can see from our traffic maps, it looks like traffic is moving along pretty smoothly in this area. Unfortunately, no TransGuide cameras to kind of take a peek exactly at what's going on here, but our map's showing that traffic is moving pretty well in the area. So we'll continue to get more information on this reported crash. TxDOT, again, the southbound lanes of Loop 410 at Old Pearsall Road, and try and give you the very latest during our next traffic report here in just a little bit. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, sir. A local woman who spent her days in the classroom is now headed for a courtroom.
The Northside School District teacher and coach is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student.
Katrina Weber is live downtown with more details on her arrest. What's her status when it comes to her job? Katrina?
Well, in a note that was sent home to parents yesterday, the school principal said that this now criminal suspect is on administrative leave. She's been on administrative leave since last Friday, but things are still developing and this investigation is still ongoing. For now, it looks like 28-year-old Stephanie Woods is at home. Records show that she was released on bond after her arrest yesterday afternoon. An arrest affidavit says that Woods, a biology teacher and tennis and basketball coach at Warren High School, is accused of having an improper relationship with a 17-year-old girl. It says a friend of the girl first reported this to a therapist, then San Antonio police found out about it. The affidavit says the teen later told police she had been involved with Woods since late last year and had even spent nights in her home. Police say they found evidence of that, evidence to back that up in the girl's phone. And again, Woods was arrested yesterday. She is out on bond. Reporting live downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Happening right now across the Southwest, border agents are working to turn away and detain people crossing the border illegally.
The Biden administration rolling out new, stricter immigration rules that are now in effect. In a new statement, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says smugglers are spreading misinformation on social media, offering their services to migrants with promises of easy entry.
Our Alyssa Cole is on the ground right now in Eagle Pass. Alyssa, are the new rules designed to create safer legal pathways for asylum?
The new rules are exactly that. You saw the van just passing there just a moment ago to, of course, probably inform those who may be crossing the border illegally about those new safer rules. And those new safer rules include being a part of those migrant processing centers. Now, a part of those migrant processing centers, it includes a part of the plan of being rolled out across the Western Hemisphere in countries like Colombia and Guatemala, where the Biden administration plans to have those migrant centers where people can walk up, they can apply for asylum in the United States, Canada, in Spain, and they don't have to worry about taking that dangerous journey here to our U.S.-Mexico border. Now, of course, those who are looking to still make the dangerous journey and look to make the attempt to cross the border illegally, there will be very severe consequences. The Biden administration rolled out those rules recently. As you mentioned, Stephanie, and we did get a chance to hear from the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and he breaks down what those consequences are. Take a listen.
Do not believe the lies of smugglers. People who do not use available legal pathways to enter the U.S. now face tougher consequences, including a minimum 5-year ban on re-entry and potential criminal prosecution.
Yes, that potential criminal prosecution are felony charges. And as you've been speaking about, Mark, that Title 42 is officially over. It's expired. So that means those new rules are in effect right now. To learn more about Title 42, to watch our continuing team coverage all across the southwest border, continue to stay with us online and on air. We will continue reporting on what we see throughout the day. Reporting in Eagle Pass, Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alyssa. And if you still have questions about Title 42, we have you covered. You can scan that QR code on your screen to watch the KSAT Explains episode that breaks down the measure. Find out where Title 42 came from and the impact it has had.
Just about 6:38, 75 degrees.
And just ahead, if you've ever wanted to grow your own garden but didn't know where to start, now's your chance. How a local nonprofit is helping the community plant roots on the east side.
6:41. Welcome back and good morning. Keeping communities healthy through gardening and teaching sustainability. That's what the nonprofit Gardopia Gardens aims to do.
And you can also learn how to grow your own garden, compost, or even start your own chicken coop at Gardopia's upcoming Food and Nature Education Conference on May 20th.
Sarah Costa takes us to the east side to check out the Gardopia Garden.
Pollinator flowers, vegetables, fruit trees, and even chickens, all found in the heart of the east side on New Braunfels Avenue. Welcome to Gardopia Gardens, the nonprofit that's been around since 2015. Working with the city of San Antonio, the garden was built for crime prevention through environmental design.
Instead of just fencing off a space or policing the problem away, we were engaging the community around healthy living, and that's how this sprouted up. And soon after, we continued to work with schools, churches, community centers, restaurants, residences, really trying to grow food everywhere and anywhere.
It's a safe place to learn about how to grow your own garden, hydroponic gardening, working in carpentry, or even how to use chickens in your garden. CEO Stephen Luck says during the pandemic, they started the Food and Nature Education Conference as a way to continue to connect with the community virtually and in person on the importance of growing your own food and sustainability.
A lot of people are disconnected from their food, they're disconnected from agriculture, and so we like to talk about how food and nature coming together in urban agriculture is a great way to create a more sustainable, healthy population.
At the conference, you can see many demonstrations throughout the day on how to effectively take advantage of your own green space, fight climate change, and the importance of building healthy communities.
There's just so many ecosystem services that these small gardens and micro farms and urban farms can provide. And what we want to advocate is for this to be everywhere in every neighborhood, no matter your economic background.
So come on out here to Gardopia Gardens on the city's east side on May 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for their third annual Food and Nature Education Conference. For how to sign up and register, to head to KSAT.com. I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
And as Sarah mentioned, the Gardopia Gardens Food and Nature Education Conference is next Saturday. That is May 20th. And it starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 4 in the afternoon. So it's at Gardopia Gardens, and tickets are $25 for in-person attendees. And the event is also free online. So for more on how you can register, you can visit our website at ksat.com.
Time check, 6:43.
Let's go ahead and check back with RJ Marquez.
All right, guys. Yeah, we got a little bit more information on this crash being reported on the southwest side here at Loop 410. We're looking at right now the southbound lanes of Loop 410. Just got a emergency vehicle out there to help this individual out there. Looked like a truck that was on the shoulder. So obviously not completely causing a traffic backup, but you could see that several of our drivers taking caution here and moving over to the side as these crews try and clear out this crash from earlier this morning. Again, the southwest side, looking at these southbound lanes at Old Pearsall Road there. So just something to keep in mind. But again, it looks like crews got out there a little bit fast and quick. So hopefully they can get things taken care of here in just a little bit out there for our drivers on the southwest side. As we take a look at our citywide map, no major delays when we look at other areas. Of course, US 90 there, 1604, always kind of a busy area for people in and out coming from Castroville. We still have a stalled vehicle up here on the near on the northeast side there, the westbound lanes of Loop 1604 at O'Connor Road, you can see it's causing a little bit now of a traffic delay. There was also a report of a stalled vehicle at Bulverde Road further down the road there on 1604. So it looks like we're getting a little bit more activity up in this part of town. So we'll continue to follow the very latest there. As we take you one more look here, Loop 410, again, the southbound lanes at Old Pearsall Road. It appears had a crash earlier, but looks like things are going to be cleared up here pretty soon, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, RJ. If you're just now tuning in or checking in before you head out the door this morning, not much has changed regarding this very rainy forecast.
Yeah, and tomorrow is going to be the rainiest day. That's when it all really starts to move on in here. In the overnight hours, those storms are going to be developing late tonight, or excuse me, in the early evening hours out to the west, moving in here in towards San Antonio late tonight. Right now, we are just starting off with a lot of humidity. As you can see, just kind of murky conditions out there. Looks like something's going on over there, 410 eastbound. RJ is going to check into that. A little bit of mist and drizzle. Don't be surprised if you see that this morning. And we are going to keep that 10% chance for a little bit of mist, drizzle around the area, a patch or two of fog. Not much as of right now. We're just going to watch that over the next couple of hours. 81 at noon, 87 for a high temperature later on today. We start to see, again, a stray shower, just those kind of pop-ups, and that's going to be late this afternoon. And then out to the west is when those storms are going to start to get going. And here's the computer model, which shows, again, one or two of those thunderstorms kind of popping up around here, and the atmosphere is very, very volatile, so even some of these could become potentially strong or severe. The really heavy stuff, though, is going to get going, again, early evening hours, and that works its way across the hill country with those heavy downpours scattered about the area, and that will be in the overnight hours. Early tomorrow morning, again, we'll have those pockets of some of that really heavy rain around here, and that's going to be the case off and on throughout the day tomorrow. And notice how now moved across the area in the overnight hours, but then during the day tomorrow, a lot of that is concentrated from San Antonio down to the south, where it looks like some of the overall heaviest amounts will be tomorrow during the day. That continues to work its way off to the east, and there will be some breaks here and there, but then I think we see more rain even developing overnight and going into Sunday. Now, it is dependent upon how worked over the atmosphere gets as to what we see on Sunday. If the atmosphere doesn't really have a chance to recover, may not have as much. Overall, though, over the next few days, we are going to be seeing a total, this won't be all at once, but a total of about 3 to 5 inches. Locally, obviously higher amounts. You're going to get those bullseyes with some of those storms that really dump a lot of rain over the course of tomorrow and the next few days. We do have the flash flood watch, goes into effect 7 tonight up until 7 tomorrow. Weather Service has indicated pretty good chance they may be extending that into tomorrow night, but obviously that's a wait and see situation. And there's the threat for severe weather, a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5 in the western 2/3 of our area. High winds, hail, isolated tornado can't be ruled out, not likely though. And then there'll also be a small severe threat, especially off to the east as we go into tomorrow as well. So the forecast goes like this today. What you see is what you get this morning. Going to be warm, going to be humid, a little mist here and there, a couple of patches of fog this morning, and 81 at noon, then 87 high temperature today. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms here and there. Even this afternoon and going into tonight, 1 or 2 of those could be on the strong to severe side just because the atmosphere is so volatile. Tomorrow, heavy rain overnight, heavy rain and pockets of heavy rain throughout the day tomorrow. And Sunday, still looking pretty wet. Likewise, Monday and going into the middle part of next week. We'll be back.
Good morning. Welcome back. Title 42 is officially over and new immigration rules are now in effect. That means anyone caught crossing the border illegally could face up to a 5-year re-ban entry into the United States, and they could face felony charges. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas released this statement that reads in part, "Do not believe the lies of smugglers. The border is not open. People who do not use available lawful pathways to enter the U.S. now face tougher consequences, including a minimum 5-year ban on re-entry and potential criminal prosecution." Make sure that you stick with us throughout the day, online and on air, as we cover the border crisis across the southwest border. Reporting live in Eagle Pass, Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
Good morning. The McAllen Hidalgo International Bridge is open 24/7 and things are quiet. I'll tell you, yesterday, not even 50 yards from where we are standing now, we saw up to at least 10 state troopers stationed there. We spoke with a few of them telling us that they were recently trained on riot control in the off chance that something were to happen near the border. Nothing did. Yesterday, we did see several buses dropping off a number of migrants in downtown McAllen. They were guided there and joined with Border Patrol agents. The agents didn't talk to us or explain exactly what was happening, but we were able to get a peek inside the building in itself, and it looks like it is used as some sort of processing center. We watch as people leave that building with paperwork, then go next door to a Catholic charity. There, migrants are able to take a break and rest, and we are told after about 24 hours, some of them go across the streets to a bus station for other parts of the country.
The
reason why I have come to this country and left mine is because there is a dictatorship under Nicolas Maduro. We don't live like humans there. We live as slaves. But I also took advantage because I knew that Title 42 was ending, and I wanted to make sure I was able to get in. As Title 42 expired, the federal government now using Title 8, which was in effect before the pandemic in 2020. Under Title 8, the federal government says that if migrants coming from countries like Venezuela or Haiti don't stop and seek asylum in the countries that they are passing through before reaching the southern border, that will be taken into consideration as they are seeking asylum in the United States. Reporting from McAllen, Roman Balogan, back to you.
All right, let's get one more quick look at TransGuide here as we're following the latest here with this crash here on Loop 410 southwest side. These are the southbound lanes at Old Pearsall Road. We saw an emergency crew there earlier. We still see that vehicle out there in the shoulder, but traffic is moving along pretty smoothly in this area overall. I believe this is the crash that Mike had mentioned, or he saw a little bit of something earlier from our city cam shot. So we do have a report of a crash there on the eastbound lanes of Loop 410 at Nacogdoches Road. So we'll continue to follow this as we get through here and get into our 7 o'clock hour and figure out what exactly is going on there at Loop 410, the eastbound lanes at Nacogdoches Road. Looks like we have some traffic buildup this morning.
And here's that shot that RJ was just talking about over there from live cam by the airport. And eastbound lanes are moving along really slowly there. A little bit of fog around the area, some mist, a slight bit of drizzle on top of that. Temperatures are very warm, very humid, and we've got temperatures that are going to make it up to 87 degrees later on today. A few more clouds than yesterday, couple of showers, thunderstorm here and there, and it'll just be kind of the scattered variety. Then dinner time, early evening is when the heavy rain is going to start to develop out to the west, work its way across the area. It's going to arrive here in town late tonight, between 11, 12 o'clock, and we'll see the pockets of some heavy rain. Flash flood watch goes into effect at 7 o'clock tonight up until 7 tomorrow. And also, some of those storms could be on the strong, potentially severe side. High winds, hail, isolated tornado can't be completely ruled out. We'll have the pockets of heavy rain around the area tomorrow, and still kind of a wet Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Thank you, Mike. Y'all be careful out there this weekend and with all your plans.
Good Morning America's next. We'll see you back here for GMSA at 9.